This is Not Worth Living, a podcast that features creatives interviewing themselves with a preset list of questions. Unlike other podcasts that feel like conversation between friends, this one aims to feel like eavesdropping on a psychiatrist's visit. Today's episode features...
My name is Kris Hall, aka CC Hannett, aka Barracuda Guarisco. I am a poet and writer of hybrid works and the author of Embarrassed by Everything Except for When I Put It into Poetry, released through Alexandra Naughton's Be About It Press. Previous editor-in-chief of Really Serious Literature, I am the host of Chat Rooms, a weekly open mic held every Wednesday at Lucky Dime in Everett, Washington. Big thanks to Ira for having me on. What makes you tick? That's a good question. As someone who has suffered from nearly debilitating high anxiety the majority of my life, I'd like to say that currently I do my best to not let things get to me and to let them go. Having said that, I tend to react unfavorably to the anxieties of others as it triggers me. Something I'm working on. Would you open an envelope with your death date? Absolutely. That way I can better plan the party. What was the first time you remember creating something intentionally? I can't pinpoint a specific creation, but I used to write little fantastical plays that I'd bother my mother with when she was trying to sneak a depression nap in. I remember recording the audio of myself acting out the play and my older sister and her boyfriend finding the tape and making fun of me for it. I can't blame them, though. One of the characters was named Boner. What keeps you motivated? I'd say failure, rejection. If I'm not struggling and reminded to stay humble, the magic is less potent. Who inspires you at the moment? Right now, everything is kind of flat, but my partner, Jude, their artwork and their support I find to be very inspirational. What's your latest project? Noah Fang Quicksilver. It's a story written mostly in verse, kind of a poetic rock opera about a vampire poet who is struggling to determine which is worse, having peaked or getting canceled. If money was no object, what would be your dream project? I'd love to get back into publishing again, like to have access to everything so I can ensure success for my authors and the press. That'd be something. I miss it quite a bit. Is there a quote or a motto that you work by? Forever it's been, to achieve harmony in bad taste is the height of elegance, by Jean Genet. I have it tattooed on me. It's blown out and barely legible, which fits. Would you be friends with yourself? That's a hard one. Before I quit drinking, I was entertaining but manic and selfish. Now I'm really distant and quiet and awkward, feeling that I lack personality and depth. I'd like to think I'd be welcoming to myself, but it's hard to say. What do you do differently from other people? Play pool by myself for 8 hours, chugging Red Bulls and just vibing until I can muster up words to write. And finally, what would you like your epitaph to say? Room for rent.